Hi guys, it's Dan. So in this video I want to show you why you should be using ActiveCampaign and not something cheap and not, well, too simple really, like MailChimp. MailChimp's just a nightmare sometimes. The reason why we use ActiveCampaign is that we can do some extra things with it. And if you're still using MailChimp, you know, how serious are you about your business? I know people start using MailChimp because it's free of charge, and I get that. But, you know, where do you want to be in a year or 2 years or 5 years? Do you still want to be using free of charge stuff? Or do you want to be using the stuff that actually does the job and helps you grow your business? If you want to be still doing MailChimp in 2 to 3, 4, 5 years, you're not going to have a business. You've got a hobby. And we don't want you to have a hobby. We want you to have a business. And so business people use stuff like ActiveCampaign. The reason we use it is it's a good intermediary. You know, you could go to Infusionsoft, but it's too expensive, very high monthly payments. Or you could go to Constant Contact, for example, which is better than MailChimp, but still very low end. But in ActiveCampaign, you can do stuff like this. So right here, for example, when a person comes and subscribes, so we've got a Breakthrough to Success webinar. This could be an opt-in form on your website to download the latest and greatest information on how to do something. It doesn't have to be a webinar, it could be anything. So they opt in, okay? We then send them an email, send the important download email. Then what we do is we subscribe them to our main list. Now our main list that has like 60 automated emails that go out once every 6 days. So we move them over onto a separate list, but also here we unsubscribe them from this list. The reason why we want to unsubscribe them from this list here is that what if we want to run this exact same webinar in, say, 10 days? Okay? All the old people who'd subscribed to this webinar, they will still be in that list. And so when we say just 3 days until your next webinar, the old people who've already attended that webinar will still get that email, so it makes no sense. So we want to get rid of them and we move them to a main list so that we can keep on emailing them, and it resets this list down to 0. So if you've got a PDF download, for example, we're just doing one for a property right now. So let's say you've got a property download the off-plan drawings and pricing, okay? So the person subscribes, they get sent the off-plan drawings and pricing right here in this important download. We then subscribe them over to the main list, and then we unsubscribe them from this initial list. That's exactly what we want to be doing, because then in the main list right here, we've got a number of emails that we can have automated that are sent out. You know, in my business, we've got 60, it goes out every 6 days. That's more than a year's worth of emails. And every time we create a new email, we actually tag that new email onto the bottom anyway. And we send out an email a week, more or less. So every single week, we're actually adding, you know, we're going to get to a point in a year or two where actually they're going to have like 2 or 3 years worth of emails being sent to them every week, because we're already creating that. But the point I want you to get to is you've got to get off MailChimp and you've got to start using a professional piece of software such as ActiveCampaign, because it can work wonders for your business. We can do all sorts of crazy stuff with this. So for example, let's say that, this is a property one, for example, where people are downloading the latest floor plans and pricing of a property. Well, let's say we upload another property. People who then go onto that web page who are subscribed, we can set up a trigger so that actually, so let's do it now. We can set up a trigger so that if they go to a particular web page, so you see their web page is visited. So if they're already on our mailing list, let's just do this /new property. I spelled property wrong, but that's okay. So now, for example, if someone's already on our mailing list, okay, and they then land on a specific web page, we can automatically send them an email. That's really awesome, okay? This is what we can do with some of the more advanced bit of software, but we can't do this on MailChimp. MailChimp's free, and it's not, you know, it's okay as a free bit of software, but it's not what you want to be running your business on. So I hope that's useful. If you want any more information about that, then just let me know. Okay.